What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at a bunch of reveals from OP-09. There's been a bunch of new cards that have gone and been revealed. We've got ourselves some super rares we need to have a little bit of a chat out. We got another alternate art we need to have a little bit of a chat about. Frankly, there's a lot of cards we need to get excited about and have a little bit of a chat about. So let's start off getting excited and having a little bit of a chat about the new Frankie. Now, I will say this has anime artwork, and I mean, look, this is not like the early days of the One Piece TCG, back with the original starter decks, etc., where you had these, well, I'd say horrible, really uninspiring half-card artworks from the anime. I really didn't like it. I thought it was the worst thing about the One Piece TCG. I was not a fan at all. Well, I still don't like having anime artwork. This is better. But then by the same token, it's just like, well, can we not have new artwork? Like, the anime's great, but we already have the anime. Please, sir, can we have some more new artwork? It looks cool, but I'd much rather just have new artwork. There, I said it. What do we got here, though? 4 cost, 5,000 power, counter plus 1,000 is nice. We've got blocker, and then we've got Don -2, and trash a card from your hand to draw 2 cards. Nice. This is really, really nice. It's got blocker, and it's got a built-in draw engine. Now, you do have to trash before you draw, which is an important distinction, because essentially what you might end up doing is drawing 2 cards, and the one you'd much rather discard is one of the ones you just drew, but you don't have that option, which is a bit sad, boo hiss, etc. But you still end up with +1 card, and you still got a 5k blocker, and 5k is an important number, because most leaders have 5k, which means the starter attack, so to speak, the minimum attack, which has a degree of a chance of actually going through most leaders, is 5k. So here you can just block that nice and easily. Cool. Job's a good one. But also, this just combos beautifully with the new leader Luffy. Because the new leader Luffy says that when you put 2 or more Don back into your Don deck, then you get to add a Don card from your Don deck active and a Don card from your Don deck rested. So this being a Don -2 skill isn't really a Don -2 skill. Because your Don -2, you put 2 Don back, but you put 2 rested Don back, and you get you really should be putting 2 rested Don back, and you get an active and a rested Don in return. So what this actually does is activate one of your Don, trash a card from your hand, and draw 2. Yes! That's really good. Of course, remember, I've told you about some other cards from OP-09. Cards like Sanji, cards like Zoro, that also have skills where you might want to Don -2 or more. Those ones you can actually do as many as you like. It doesn't have to be 2. But of course, you're only using the Luffy skill once per turn. That's the biggest downside here. But Luffy is getting some good tricks in OP-09. What's that, you say? Not enough super rares? Well, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I got ya. We got a really nice Koala card. Koala's starting to get a lot of love in the One Piece TCG ever since OP-05, and I'm telling you, I'm here for it, and Koala is awesome. 6 cost, 6,000 power. Again, we've got blocker, although 6,000 is better than 5,000, because now your opponent has to put an extra 1,000 on, a Don or something like that, just in order to be able to take out this blocker, rather than attacking with 5k and not even taking out the blocker. That's hilarious. But also, we've got on play, put the top or bottom of your life into your hand. Now, this is scary, because it gets your opponent closer to winning the game, but it does give you a card advantage, which is alright. But then you get to play a 4 cost or lower Revolutionary Army card from your hand, and if you do, draw a card. So, okay, fine, you got to put the top card or the bottom of your life into your hand. That is not ideal. I am not saying it is ideal. In fact, it is unideal. But I'll tell you right now, the idea that you get to play a card for free while also drawing a card, yeah, mate, I am absolutely down with that. That sounds absolutely fine by me. And honestly, at this stage, I'm a little bit worried that the best option we're going to have for the Revolutionary Army here is one we haven't actually seen yet. Now, I mean, in terms of leaders, obviously this will work with Bello Betty, who is a dual colour red and yellow leader, which is nice. And we've got Sabo, who is a dual colour red and yellow leader, which is nice. But we've got other Revolutionary Army leaders that aren't part yellow, for which this will not work. But then again, if we stick to red, not yellow, we've not seen enough yellow Revolutionary Army, I'm afraid. But if we stick to red, we've got some decent options. Karasu, 4 cost, 5,000 power. And on play, if your leader's Revolutionary Army, give one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 1,000 power for this turn. Or Emporio Ivankov, if this character has 7,000 power or more, play a Revolutionary Army character with 5,000 power or less other than Emporio Ivankov from your hand. As I've told you before, if I'm playing a 4 cost or lower, I want to play the absolute best 4 cost. I don't want to be mucking around with 3 costs. Nah, mate, not a fan. Or we've got something like Inazuma, for instance. If you've got 7,000 power or more, you gain Banish. Are these cards perfect? No, they're not. But being able to play them for free while drawing a card? Yeah, you know what? I'm all right with that. So I'm liking Koala. I think Koala is a cool card. It is one that I'm a fan of. It's one that I'm looking to use. But hey, we got a new Silver's Rally as well that isn't even a secret rare or anything. 5 cost, 6,000 power, counter plus 1,000, blocker. Yes, there is a theme going on, all right? There is a theme to today's reveals. I'm not in charge of what gets revealed. But what we got here is blocker, and then we've got on play. If your opponent has 2 or more characters on the board with 5,000 power or more original power, draw 2, trash 1. So you're drawing cards as well, which is nice. Now, when it says original power, this is actually incredibly important because, of course, there are plenty of characters out there that you can just, add power to. We'll need to be a little bit careful with this one now, don't we? It needs to be characters that have this much power, generally not characters that have been boosted up to this much power. It is rather important. So there's a bunch of blockers we needed to have a little bit of a chat about. And now we have, yay. What else have we got here? Well, how about a really rather good pair of event cards? How about Special Muggy Ball? Now, it's a 2 cost card, but what we've got here is a main, and you get to return one of your opponent's 6 cost or lower characters to their hand. Or as a trigger, you get to return a 3 cost or lower character to their hand. It's a nice blue event card. We know blue likes getting rid of characters. We know it likes returning them to hand and deck and all of that. So it's another card that's actually going to work really nicely with Sakazuki because black is great at reducing cost. And then in comes this. Yes, I am fully aware that Sakazuki done gone changed. But, the new Sakazuki, it's not completely unplayable, and it's still a really good colour combination. We've then also got ourselves a rather lovely black spiral from Blackbeard Pirates. This one is good for a 2 cost. We've got counter. Up to one of your opponent's leader or characters cannot activate their skills this turn, and they get minus 4,000 power. Beautiful. Get rid of any skills on which your opponent might be relying, whether it's on the leader or otherwise. And I just think this is beautiful. I think this is absolutely wonderful. Whether they're trying to use a leader skills or character skills or whatever and give them minus 4,000 power, that essentially turns off one of their attacks. Now, it's even got a rather nice trigger as well. Deactivate the effect up to one of your opponent's leader or character during this turn. Again, this is going to be nice. Not quite as nice as when you play it from your hand, but turning off one of your opponent's skills. Oh, this is nice, ladies and gentlemen. This is very, very nice indeed. And look, we know what Blackbeard's trying to do at this point, right? We know that Blackbeard has a static skill that turns off your on-play skills, And then a skill which can be activated to turn off your opponent's on-play skills as well, which is obviously ridiculous. And we know that we've got the 10 cost Martial Teach, which turns off your opponent's leader skills. And one of your opponent's characters has no effects and can't attack for a turn. So we know the Blackbeard's playing keep away here. We know the Blackbeard's doing the whole, haha, you get nothing, but it's working. And I think, I could be wrong, we're not there yet. We're not playing in the OP-09 meta. We've not seen all the cards from OP-09. I could absolutely be wrong here, but it is really starting to think like there are going to be some Blackbeard decks out there which are just completely turning off everything that your opponent wants to do, and I just think that's going to be fun. Well, fun for the Blackbeard player, probably less so for their opponents. But I did promise you guys a new alternate art as well, and I do pride myself on being not that much of a liar. So how about an alternate art Adio from Odyssey? Phenomenal Basai artwork here. Seriously, Basai is absolutely crushing this. Huge fan. Not sure how well I can collect their artwork given some of the cards they've done. They've done too many One Piece cards and too many rare ones. Boo. But oh, I'm enjoying their artwork very much so. So what have we got from Adio? Well, it's a card I told you about before. 9 cost, 9,000 power. On play if you've got an Odyssey leader, set 3 of your Don active. So you've got to have 9 Don to play it, but it only really costs 6. And when an opponent's attacking, once per turn, rest 1 of your Don to give your leader or one of your characters 2,000 power for the battle. Basically gives you an extra counter plus 2,000 once per turn. And I cannot be the only one that thinks that's a decent idea. Right, there we go. There's some new cards, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these. Tell me how excited you are. Tell me which of these blockers is making you happy. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.